The following program is produced by students of the Brian Lamb School of Communication at Purdue University.
On this edition of Fast Track, we'll take you to Purdue's Research Park, where scientists are commercializing the work they've done.
And later we'll have a look at a group of students bringing Hawaiian traditions to Purdue's campus. These stories and more are coming up on this week's edition of Fast Track.
Fast Track. I'm Christina Van Zels.
And I'm Trevor Peters. Purdue scientists have broken records in the amount of patents they made in the past year.
Purdue has even beat out schools such as Duke and Carnegie Mellon. For more with the story, here's Island Sapahi.
Very few universities can match the depth of Purdue University's research capabilities and talent. Our world-changing research is what makes Purdue a national and global leader in discovery and innovation. Discoveries are made so frequently at Purdue that it has become a patent powerhouse. Last year, Purdue tied with the National Taiwan University for 16th worldwide in the number of patents produced, up from 27th the previous year. Purdue had 93 patents last year, placing it ahead of schools like Carnegie Mellon, New York University, Northwestern, the University of Chicago, and other prestigious schools both home and abroad. What about the Ivy Leagues, you ask? Well, Purdue beat out Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, and Cornell. Chad Pittman, the Vice President of the Office of Technology Commercialization at the Purdue Research Foundation, explained what makes Purdue research so successful.
Well, I think a few things. One, if you go back to the land-grant mission of the university at its inception, it's always been based in being relevant to the marketplace. So it started in agricultural and mechanical engineering in the early days. As a matter of fact, the benefactor of Purdue Research Foundation, David Ross, came out of the School of Mechanical Engineering in the 1890s.
The West Lafayette-based Purdue University system has more than 400 research labs and 139 research centers. This new world ranking for Purdue has caught the attention of research teams around the world.
What's been surprising to me is that how this particular ranking has got so much attention from so many different corners of the world. And the phone's been ringing with people asking us how we can help them connect with the researchers and the grad students at the university.
For Fast Track, I'm Island Sapahi.
The Purdue Hawaii Club will be holding a traditional Hawaiian party or luau event in April. The luau will be the culminating event for the club because there will be authentic Hawaiian food, entertainment, and music from the islands.
The luau, entirely organized by Purdue students from Hawaii, is open to students and the public. Leading up to the luau, members of the Hawaii Club will be spreading what they call the aloha spirit around campus to spread word about the event. Kanoi Pereira has the story.
It has long been a dream of Purdue's Hawaii Club, or Hui Na o Pio o Hawaii, as they call themselves, to host a Hawaiian celebration or Hawaiian luau on Purdue's campus. This semester, President Darius Kawewehi plans to make that dream a reality.
On April 10th, we'll have a luau here on campus. It'll take place in the Purdue North and South Ballroom, and we'll have entertainers coming all the way from Hawaii featuring Kealoha, who does slam poetry, Taimane Gardner and her musicians who will be doing ukulele songs, and we'll be having a halau from Chicago come. We'll also have Cap Tafiti, who's a fire knife dancer.
A traditional Hawaiian luau organized by Native Hawaiian students may be the first experience the majority of Purdue students ever have to an authentic Hawaiian luau. So what is a luau?
A luau is an event that brings people together. So it's normally a ceremonious kind of event where people will come together from all different backgrounds. Everyone is welcome. We'll have food that signifies dishes from Hawaii. We'll have music, we'll have dancing. And so it's kind of a way for people to come together and experience something cultural.
Due to the large number of Purdue students, Hawaii Club members believe it is essential for their club to begin activities that will advertise the upcoming luau around campus. Purdue Hawaii Club members are getting the chance to learn hula dancing firsthand and also perform it for the Purdue student body at the luau celebration.
The emotions are telling a story, and a luau is kind of telling a story. Each performer that's doing their piece is kind of that part of show.
Hawaii Club leaders will offer the dance classes every Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Black Cultural Center's Multipurpose Room 1. The Luau Show will take place at Loeb Playhouse. Tickets will be sold every Friday starting February 10th at the price of $10 for Purdue students and $20 for non-Purdue students. Purdue Hawaii Club members say they are extremely excited to have this opportunity to share the warm Hawaiian culture in the Midwest, especially during the winter season.
I think that they should definitely try to come for part of the luau, whether it's eating the food or coming to see the performers, because there's definitely a lot to learn, and I think it would be a great experience for all of them.
If you would like to learn more about how you can perform in the event or just attend the luau, you can join the club's Facebook page by searching Purdue Hawaii Club or by emailing huinaopio'ohawaii@gmail.com. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Kanoi Pereira.
When we come back, we will take a look at the weather by Fast Track's meteorologist Matt Seedorf and a popular place to hang out on a Saturday night.
We will also show you a place on campus where plenty of Purdue alumni call home. Stay tuned.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Ethiopian-born and Brooklyn-raised singer McLeet has been hailed by the San Francisco Chronicle as an artistic giant in the early stages. Describing herself as an in-betweener that lives along musical hyphen lines, she blends folk and jazz with global roots, transforming musical genres and styles with articulate skill. February 27th at Lafayette Theater. Details at convocations.org. Presented by Purdue Convocations.
It starts with the belief that we can do more. Go beyond our borders, the world, and reach even the moon. We believe that delivering a world-class education and delivering value mean the exact same thing. It's pure gold. After all, where'd you think our colors came from?
Good evening, Boilermakers. I hope you had a great Friday. Our current temperature throughout the region is in the mid to upper 30s throughout much of Indiana, with lower to mid 40s throughout the south, as we have 44 degrees in St. Louis, and we have 47 currently in Evansville. This warm weather will move up into our region over the weekend. Our current temperature is 32 degrees with a wind chill of 27. Our humidity is at 73%, and the winds are coming out of the west at 5 miles per hour. Today's high was 37 degrees, and the current temperature for tonight will be 24 for a low. Other parts of the region include 30 in Kokomo, 33 in Indianapolis, 32 here in Lafayette, 29 in Warsaw, and 31 here in Rensselaer. And if you're planning on heading out tonight, make sure to bring yourself a coat, because the temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s throughout much of the night. But it'll be a nice, wonderful night with partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We'll have temperatures at around 29 degrees at 8 p.m. with a temperature of 27 at 10, 26 at midnight, and 26 at 2 a.m. in the morning once you're getting out of Cactus. Our current satellite shows we have clouds moving from Indiana out to the eastern part of the state, and we'll have clear skies for much of the evening tonight. As we have a front coming out from Minnesota and Iowa and Wisconsin, which will bring some cloudy conditions throughout much of the day on Saturday, and we'll see a possibility of some showers. Our futurecast shows that we'll have some spotty snow showers on the east side of the state, but unfortunately these will not affect our region whatsoever. We will see, though, we have some showers coming in from Oklahoma, and these will move into Missouri over the overnight hours into the morning, and at 12 they'll move into Illinois as they'll begin to evaporate through the air, and fortunately it might drop some precipitation, but it will be very light if it does. Our low temperatures for tonight will be 25 in Kokomo, 20 in Fort Wayne, 20 in Warsaw, 22 in Rensselaer, and we'll have 24 degrees here in Lafayette. Our forecast for Saturday will see mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance of rain. We're going to give it about 20% with a high temperature of 41 degrees. Winds will be out of southwest between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Our three-day shows will have a low of 29 degrees on Saturday night with a slight chance of rain throughout the day. We'll have mostly sunny skies on Sunday with a high temperature in the mid-40s, around 45 degrees on Sunday. We'll have a low of 29 on Sunday night. And clouds will come in through Monday and then we'll have a slight chance of rain showers turning into snow later on in the evening with a high temperature of 38 degrees on Monday with a low of 23. Our 7-day, we'll have a trough of low pressure come through the region here on Monday night into Tuesday, and the low pressure system will stall over the Great Lakes on Tuesday and Wednesday, which will bring us a slight chance of snow showers on on Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly on Tuesday with a possibly slight chance on Wednesday. High temperatures, though, will be in the upper teens for Tuesday and Wednesday, so you might want to make sure you bring your coat for the middle of the week, as low temperatures will be in the single digits on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday, temperatures will rebound, and we'll have sunny skies with temperatures in the 20s, and temperatures will stay in the 20s throughout much of the day on Thursday, as another warm front will come through the region on Friday and boost temperatures up into the mid-30s on Friday. For Fast Track Weather, I'm Matthew Seedorf.
Thank you, Matt. If you're ever looking for something to do on a Saturday night, whether that be a place to eat or a place to try out your karaoke skills, look no further than State Street.
308 on State is the newest bar on campus, and it can offer all of that. More on the story is Morgan Hange.
Purdue University, like many other college campuses, is home to several bars. 308 on State is the newest bar here on Purdue's campus, but 308 goes one level beyond all the others.
Was never a place quite like this, though. I mean, we have 3 levels. They all have distinctly different personalities. I don't think we knew how that was going to play out in the beginning, and it's kind of cool to watch people come in week after week, and they kind of make each level or each floor their own in some sort of way.
308 on State is Purdue University's only 3-story bar. It begins with the main floor, which is used for a restaurant area, also for a casual night out with friends. The bar continues upstairs to its top level. Upstairs, you can find customers in the bar's lounge area. The lounge also holds a stage where you will find live entertainment. 308 even offers an elevator for customers who need assistance to each floor. On the last level, the basement, you can find a dance floor and a variety of different DJs, which is one of their most popular attributes. Also in the basement are rooms that can be booked for private parties, which consist of karaoke.
The basement is our nightclub. There's some really cool entertainment that goes on down there. We have some of the best DJs, I think, in town coming in there every week to drum up the crowd and to get a following.
Each level holds a bar and offers a different experience, giving the customers a lot to choose from when coming to 308. Reporting from Fast Track, Morgan Hange.
After graduation, students at Purdue end up all over the world in different types of jobs. But what some people may not know is that many of the Purdue alumni and retired professors have decided to stay close to campus.
These people reside at University Place, a senior citizen home which has an official affiliation with Purdue University. Christina Van Zels has the story.
I'm here at University Place, home of many retired Purdue professors and alumni. In what seems to be an extension of Purdue's campus, the residents at University Place are able to share their stories and experiences at Purdue in the comfort of their own home. University Place is located on Lindbergh Road, right down the street from Purdue's main campus. With both independent and assisted living space and other senior services, 1/3 of the population at University Place includes retired Purdue faculty, professors, and alumni.
We have a wide variety of people here. We have a lot of Purdue people, but they're Purdue people from a variety of backgrounds.
Because the community at University Place is made up of about 35% of people who were involved at Purdue, there are many stories of how campus was many years ago.
So when I came to Purdue, the campus was pretty bare. There weren't many trees at all. And they had a director of buildings and grounds whose ambition it was to plant 20,000 trees of different kinds so no disease could wipe them all out.
Residents say that being so close to the university throughout the past years has allowed them to experience different changes Purdue has gone through. The residents say Purdue has grown in size, there are many more buildings, and according to the alumni, athletics at Purdue were much more successful 30 years ago.
It's really neat to hear their stories. It's also neat to hear what campus looked like or what campus was like, back then, because we all have today's image of it in our head.
The alumni at University Place also find that a huge advantage of living there has allowed them to interact with Purdue students, which reminds the residents of themselves.
I think that if you're a retired Purdue professor, you enjoy still seeing, the youth coming in the building is an attractive appeal.
Every time a group of students comes in the door here, all the residents get excited and like to talk with younger people.
Yeah. Although the majority of residents at University Place have some kind of connection with Purdue, they share that connection with all of the residents.
They kind of shed their former selves. They're retired and they have hobbies and interests. Of course, we all know who the Purdue people are, but if you're a non-Purdue person coming in, these residents don't make you feel like you're an outcast.
So, for all of those who love Purdue, they may never have to leave. University Place is right down the street. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Christina Van Zelst. After the break, we're taking one last look at weather along with the winery that's not too far from campus. We will also check out a new art gallery in Stewart Center and an unknown group of guys that are crucial to the Purdue women's basketball team.
Be sure to stay tuned after this episode of Fast Track because we will have another edition of our interview special series right after the break.
Annie, the world's best-loved musical, returns in time-honored form with a brand new incarnation of the iconic original. From the Tony Award-winning book and score, Annie includes such unforgettable songs as It's the Hard Knock Life, Easy Street, I Don't Need Anything But You, and the eternal anthem of optimism, Tomorrow. February 11th at Elliott Hall of Music. Details at convocations.org. Presented by Purdue Convocations.
Our current temperature is 32 degrees with a wind chill of 27. Our humidity is at 73% and the winds are coming out of the west at 5 miles per hour. Today's high was 37 degrees and the current temperature for tonight will be 24 for a low. Other parts of the region include 30 in Kokomo, 33 in Indianapolis, 32 here in Lafayette, 29 in Warsaw, and 31 here in Rensselaer. And if you're planning on heading out tonight, make sure to bring yourself a coat because the temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s throughout much of the night. But it'll be a nice, wonderful night with partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We'll have temperatures at around 29 degrees at 8 p.m. with a temperature of 27 at 10, 26 at midnight, and 26 at 2 a.m. in the morning once you're getting out of Cactus.
Thanks again, Matt. White Horse Winery is known to many as a hidden gem in White County. Monticello has the quaint, small-town feel that many love to enjoy.
You will want to head north and taste their award-winning wines, and here's Alita Donnelly with the story.
If you're looking for a fun weekend activity either this weekend or next or in the spring, head up to White Horse Winery up in Monticello. Named for Molly, the white horse that came with the property when purchased, White Horse Winery opened in 2006.
And I made the question, I said, do you think you could do better making that wine? He said yes, and after that statement was made, we jumped into the wine business feet first.
In order to make wine, first the grapes need to be harvested from the vine. Then it moves through this combine machine that crushes the grape.
There's several varieties. There's Steuben, there's Catawba, there's Traminette, which is Indiana state grape, and Foch, and there's a handful of other grapes that we grow in Indiana.
For a white wine, the grapes are separated from the skins, seeds, and solids. For a red wine, the grapes are left with their skins to enhance the flavor and color. The next step is to move the grapes into the fermentation process. Fermentation takes approximately 2 weeks. For a dry wine, all the sugars are converted into alcohol. For a sweet wine, the process is stopped early. The fourth step is clarification and blending, which is a natural way to filter wine. Then, the final process, prior to bottling, is aging. Aging can be done in either oak barrels, steel tanks, or bottles. White Horse produces 20 different wines. There's reds, whites, and a few in between. And there's a wine club.
You can pick by your palate, dry club, sweet club, or the whole menu if you want to be brave and daring and expose yourself to all kinds of different wines. And you can be monthly, 2 bottles a month, or quarterly, 4 bottles in January, April, July, and October.
White Horse is hosting a winemakers, tables, and storytellers event on Saturday, February 13th.
We are going to have 2 of the storytellers from Tippecanoe County come.
Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Alita Donnelly.
The 18th North American Small Print Competition, 60 square inches, is currently taking place here at Purdue. This event is comprised of artists all over North America.
The exhibit is currently open at the Robert L. Ringel Gallery in the Stewart Center until February 20th. With more on the event, here's Matt Seedorf with the story.
At the Robert L. Ringel Gallery, located at Stewart Center, you will find an array of artwork of students of Purdue and artists throughout North America. Their current display presents a current review of North American printmakers in a collection called 60 Square Inches Small Print Competition.
The competition is continuing a tradition here at Purdue that began in 1977. The exhibit presents a current review of North American printmakers working in a 60 square inch image area format. As director of Purdue University Galleries, Craig Martin explains.
We always think it's a great opportunity because in this particular show there were 34 different artists showing 52 pieces altogether, and each of them, as you walk around and look, each of them has they're just these small little windows, and each of them is telling an individual story. And people are always attracted to them because they're small and they're somewhat intimate, that you have to get close to them and get, sort of into the same vicinity that the artist was in as he or she created them.
Not only there's small print artwork from throughout North America, there are also Purdue alumni who thought outside of the box in the competition as well.
I think there's one other, or actually the artist has 2. The artist's name is Ina Carr, and she is a former graduate student here at Purdue. She has an MFA from Purdue University, and she has shaped pieces that we're used to seeing prints that are printed from plates and that are essentially rectangular or squared, and hers are shaped paper so that whatever the size of the actual matrix was that she was printing from, the paper itself is handmade, and it sort of has a sculpted shape around the edge.
The current exhibit, 60 Square Inches, will be on display at the Robert Ringel Art Gallery until February 28th. Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Matthew Seedorf.
The Purdue women's basketball team has had a lot of success this season, and Coach V and the Lady Boilers recruit a special crew of men to help them with their daily practices.
Fast Track sports reporter Trevor Peters has more on this story.
They're members of the Purdue women's basketball team,
But the only difference from the girls, they're guys. The Ready Intense Practice Squad, or RIP Squad, is a group of boys designed to help the women's team in practice. And these guys are crucial to the team's success on the court and preparing for upcoming games.
Yeah, so we're really kind of the behind-the-scenes aspect of how the girls get ready and prepare for their games on a week-in and week-out basis. But then as the season evolves and they start playing in games, we really start being the scout team and imitate what, say, Illinois' players are going to be doing.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. We warm up just like the girls do. We get some shooting drills in. We help them with at the beginning of the practice, we help them with shooting drills. Then we go into like some more full court stuff.
They're very influential, and to be honest, they're kind of annoying. They come out here, they're very aggressive, they're strong. They make us better, that's, a guarantee, and there's no question. But, it gets annoying, but they come out here and they help us every day, and we're very fortunate to have them.
Well, they're a big part of what we do. They come in here, and sometimes when we have players hurt or whatever, we can't go 5-on-5. So they play a big part in letting us go live.
Even though these guys aren't officially on the team roster, they're expected to bring the exact same hard work and dedication that the girls do to each practice. Also, like the girls, they're considered Division I athletes. However, Coach V isn't afraid to crack the whip at them when they may need it.
They're part of our team. They're running sprints. I'm yelling at them just like I'm yelling at our players. And, it's just a major opportunity for all of us just to be together and share as a family.
To be honest, they're treated just like players. Coach will put them on the line too. We'll do drills against them, and then they'll lose, and they'll have to run.
She expects nothing but the best out of us, and she's not afraid to get on us and kind of let us know if we're doing something right and if we're doing something wrong, that she treats us just like anybody else would.
But in a one-on-one pickup game, who wins?
Of course, me.
Oh, it's us.
April or Hayden would probably beat me a little quicker.
The girls look to continue their success in the second half of the Big Ten season and also hope to bring home the Big Ten championship back to West Lafayette. For Fast Track Sports, I'm Trevor Peters.
That's all we have for this edition of Fast Track. I'm Christina Van Zels.
And I'm Trevor Peters. Join us again next week. Have a great weekend.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Direct from Broadway, The Illusionist, Witness the Impossible, showcases the jaw-dropping talents of 7 of the most incredible illusionists on Earth. Audiences will witness stunning acts of grand illusion, levitation, mind reading, disappearance, and more. This non-stop show is packed with thrilling and sophisticated magic of unprecedented proportions. April 27th at Elliott Hall of Music. Details at convocations.org. Presented by Purdue Convocations.
Thank you for tuning into this edition of Fast Track's special interview series. I'm Christina Van Zels.
And I'm Trevor Peters. This year at Fast Track, we have started an interview series with notable people of Purdue and the community.
Last week, Fast Track producer Island Sapahi sat down with Purdue President Mitch Daniels and had what we called a State of the University address.
To complement that interview, Fast Track producer Spencer Huffmeyer sat down with John Dennis, the mayor of West Lafayette, and had what we call a State of the City address.
Hello, Fast Track. My name is Spencer Huffmeyer, and in honor of our Fast Track interview series, last week we sat down with President Mitch Daniels to give a State of the University address. And this week we have our very own West Lafayette Mayor, John Dennis, giving a State of the City address. So Hello, John. Welcome.
Always a pleasure. How you doing?
How are we doing this morning?
Doing well. You?
Doing well. Doing fantastic. Good. So we're just gonna talk about the state of the university. Some large things happening here in West Lafayette with Purdue. So let's start with everyone's first big topic on mind: the Restate project.
Well, it's really difficult to get this into just a small, encapsulated story. But suffice it to say that, a few years back, we made the decision to go ahead and grow. We knew that we needed to become a bigger city. We knew that we had a choice. We're sort of pinched in between two amazing communities. One is the Purdue community, the other is the Lafayette community. And as West Lafayette was sort of stuck in the middle, we thought best thing we can do is grow. We made that conscious decision to bring Purdue into the city of West Lafayette, as well as some other area. With that understanding came the opportunity to really make a significant change in everything West Lafayette. And that change starts with the State Street project. Now, as you well know, we've got about 40,000 students who live in our community, and that number changes just by a few thousand every year. And one of the things that the students really like to do is get around town, and they like to get around town usually by bike or by running or by walking. State Street historically has been known to be rather unsafe, and one of the reasons for that is because there's no real dedicated crossing points. So, and this is even more significant as you get closer to the Wabash River. As you go down to the levee area at the bottom of the hill and you cross through 31, it's even more significant. So we thought first off, the first thing we need to do is make it more safe for our student residents. That initial concept grew into what is now known as the State Street project, in which we're not just going to make the road safer, we're going to completely change the look, feel, and overall appearance of that road.
Sure.
We're going to celebrate the uniqueness of our community, and we're going to celebrate our unique personality. I mean, we're a pretty big sized college town, and we want to make sure that when people come to our community that they're aware of where they are. Last year, the city of West Lafayette had the dubious honor of being ranked the worst college town in the Big Ten.
Oh, no.
That didn't go over very well with me, and I'm sure it didn't go over well with President Daniels either.
Sure.
So this is, although we didn't react specifically to that, this was already in the planning, but this is going to be one of those things that transforms what is somewhat known as a less than desirable college town and to be one of the greatest college towns in the States.
Awesome. And so the small projects like the Zagster bike project and 2 or 3 other, walking bridge projects that are currently going on right now, are those baby steps up to?
Well, it's all part of the transition that we're doing, and to be honest, we're doing it on both sides of the river. The city of Lafayette is doing a lot of things in their downtown area. We have a project that's basically involves both cities in Tippecanoe County, the Riverfront Project, and then we have the amazing transformative project in the city of West Lafayette and Purdue. And the whole point is we're trying to make this community, instead of it being 3 different entities, to be one. We're trying to use the riverfront, instead of being a divider, as being a zipper, basically, to bring the communities together. And we're going to celebrate our diversity. I mean, when you think about what we have here at Purdue alone, we've got over 127 different cities, towns, and countries from all around the world represented here. We have, again, one of the most diverse populations that anybody has in any college town. And then on the other side of the river, we've got this huge advanced manufacturing opportunity. In West Lafayette, we've got Purdue, we've got the research park, we've got the life sciences that are going on here. Every day somebody is coming up with a new patent that they're being awarded. I mean, this really is, in the state of Indiana, this is basically one of the crown jewels of our state, and we want to make sure that we celebrate that with the appropriate project, and that's specifically what this State Street project is going to be all about.
So when can we expect the dirt to fly?
This year.
This year.
This year, yes. This has been in the planning stages for 2 years, and it's been difficult. A project of this size and scope affects a lot of people.
Yeah.
The actual downtown of West Lafayette is on State Street, and when you're looking at taking a road up and putting a new road down, and including bike trails and pedestrian trails and all the things that we're going to do to make it a more safe corridor up to the university,
sure,
people are going to be inconvenienced. So we've had meetings with every business owner. We've had meeting with the residential folks that are going to be impacted. We've had meetings with the administration of Purdue, because that's actually who we're partnering with, and I can get into that later.
Sure, yeah.
But we've tried to make sure that our stakeholders have as much information as they can, so that we can move forward. Now, does that mean it's not going to be an inconvenience? Oh, hell no. I mean, it's going to completely rearrange people's lives.
Sure.
We always like to use the example of what's going to go on at Harry's. You know, you go into Harry's, you walk around, you need to get home, you can walk home. Well, while this is under construction, it's almost going to be like Where's Waldo. It'll be difficult to find exactly what the crossing point is on State
Sure.
Street to get to Harry's, but Purdue's got a lot of smart kids there. I'm pretty sure they're going to figure it out.
We can figure it out, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with leading right into Purdue's contribution to this, let's talk a little bit about the partnership between Purdue and West Lafayette and how they're contributing to the whole State Street project.
No, absolutely. This is one of those things that's never been done before, and this is what makes it so cool. There is a process that we're using. It's called the BOT process,
Sure.
build, operate, and transfer. And what that means is a developer comes in, basically takes over the project, builds it for us, and transfer that finished product back to the city. The uniqueness about this is that we've never had a partnership like this before. There have been partnerships where you have the private sector and the public sector cooperating together. But we've never had sort of the triangulated partnership of the private sector, the public sector, and then the university involved. And that's what makes this the first event that we are aware of. And one of the cool things about working with President Daniels is he's always open for new things and new ideas. And so when we pitched this to him, geez, probably 2 years ago now,
Sure.
his response was, hey, we'd like to get in on
Let's
this.
do it.
And we're like, come on along, you know?
Yeah.
So with that understanding, we are paving, and this is no pun, but we are paving new ground every day. The process of getting the financing squared away, the process of trying to figure out how to get a proper developer for this is getting squared away. Making sure that we satisfy the needs of both Purdue University and the citizens of West Lafayette is a constant tug of war. But the end result is going to be one of the most dynamic projects that this state has ever seen. And again, the cool thing about this as well is we are working with people that have had experience in this, basically in the build, operate, transfer process between the public and the private sector.
Sure.
So we've got a lot of good folks and a lot of smart folks that are helping us along the way with this. And second off, this has been a citizen-driven project. So unlike a lot of other projects where you basically, you know, open up a bid and start building a road, this is one where the citizens have actually said, this is what we want, this is where we want it, and this is what how we want it to work. And it's really cool to be able to go ahead and as best as we can comply with those requests.
Awesome. So with the annex of Purdue University into the city of West Lafayette, you have some new city council members,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
How talk a little bit about how the participation of that has happened and the new member, like if it's a student.
Yeah. Well, we knew that going into this that we had a lot of the students who were actually residents of our city, and the students are very important to our local economy. And yet they really didn't have a voice within what goes on in local government. Every day I get a phone call from a student saying, hey, you know, I'm doing a project in this class. Can I come talk to you? Or, hey,
Sure.
you know, I want to contribute to my community. What can I do? And we always were like, sure, come on in. And, you know, we'd give them a job or we'd put them on a board or commission.
Sure.
And then they would transition out after a semester and then we'd have to find a new one. But now what we've done is now that Purdue is in the city of West Lafayette, now that a lot of these students are residing within, they're citizens of West Lafayette, they now have the opportunity to vote for and elect their own counselor, and they've done so. So for the first time in the history of our city, there's not just a student representative, you know, working within the confines of the city. There's actually an elected student who is an elected official within the city of West Lafayette, and that is way cool. When we were talking about doing the annexation, that was one of the major components that we thought was important. We have often had students who are graduate students, in some cases who are recently graduated students who have stayed around, and they've been on council, but they're not students. They're not going through the daily struggle that a student goes through.
Sure.
They're not crossing the streets that have the two-way traffic that has no signalization. They're not getting, you know, the challenges of the bus routes. You know, they're not going through the daily, you know, rigmarole that a student goes through that we are completely oblivious to.
Yep.
And we make a lot of decisions at these council meetings that can have an adverse impact on their quality of life.
Sure.
So it's nice to have that guidance within our council.
Yeah. And is that representative, you feel, accurately representing the rest of the student population?
I would certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, his name's Asim Jah. That's Asim Jah. And he is our student representative, and one of his major tenets is to make sure that he represents the student body as best as he can.
Sure.
Now, again, I actually had the honor to be a mediator at one of the student debates. And it was humbling to know how much, or to be exposed to how much they knew about local government. But also a lot of what they were concerned about was pretty specific to Purdue.
Sure.
And the challenge that we have is making sure that our council representative understands that there are certain things that we as local government can't get involved with. With Purdue, it's just not within our jurisdiction. But there's a lot of stuff that we can do to improve the quality of life for our students. And again, I'm an old guy. I don't know what's going on with the student population anymore. As
Sure.
cool as I am, I know that's hard to believe. But the fact of the matter is having that direct contact with somebody who can be involved in our traffic commissions, who can be involved in our Human Relations Commission, who can be involved in some of these important bodies within local government, is just going to make our local government much more effective.
Absolutely. How long is the term for that student? 4 years?
4 years.
4
Yeah,
years.
they're elected to 4 years. And that was another issue. When we were looking at having a student on council, the biggest challenge that we had was to try and find somebody that could actually make that 4-year commitment.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in all honesty, there's a lot going on campus. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of stuff that students have to be involved with. And being a college student isn't like it was in my day. I mean, you go to class, you do your stuff, and then you go home. Students now have so much more involvement with college, so much more involvement with their university, and hopefully so much more involvement now with their city.
Awesome. So what else can we expect from the great city of West Lafayette? What's
first
in the
off,
future?
yeah, we're going to rock your world with
Right.
the State Street project, but it's going to be uncomfortable for about 3 years.
Sure.
So that's going to be awesome. And the great thing about that is that we're actually going to have gateways into our community, and we're going to really celebrate our bike and ped community as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. Second off is with that development comes growth. Part of the way that we're going to be paying for this, we've got the financial side of the city squared away, but we're going to be paying for it by having some pretty specialized development out on the west end of New State Street, out near 231.
Yep.
Already, we've had Rolls-Royce commit to putting a facility out there. And when you get a brand like Rolls-Royce that commits, that goes around the world and people get really excited about it.
Absolutely.
There's all kinds of different visions and all kinds of different plans for some of the green space out there. We are well aware of the fact that married student housing, it's been around for a while. Those things were originally designed to house soldiers.
I think my grandparents lived in them, actually.
Oh,
when they
you
were
just,
here.
you just broke my heart just a little bit. But yeah, that was designed for Army couples, around World War II. And they haven't really been given that much financial attention since then.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to go away, and the hope is to build something that is going to be of value to the student population and fit the aesthetics of what we're trying to achieve out on the west end of State Road, State Street. And then also in the area around 231, the airport, the rail spur, the highway. I mean, that is the trifecta for successful development, because a lot of folks that want to put their investments there are looking at connectivity to the world.
Absolutely.
And that's how you get there. So we are going to be in a position to, we won't have to be making cold calls. The presumption is that we'll be getting a lot of phone calls about people who are expressing interest in our community. And I would be irresponsible if I didn't acknowledge the fact that having a world-renowned research university within the city limits of your city is pretty much rock star stuff. People know the brand Purdue. I mean, Purdue, because of its international student population, is known all around the world. And a lot of those students that come here, they have a positive experience. They go back to their hometown and they create a business. They look here to come back and share their success. And we could not celebrate that enough.
So with Purdue getting all the grants for life sciences and research and trying to put the money back into the community, touch a little bit about what we can expect as far as that incorporation into the city of West Lafayette.
Well, we are in a unique position to be able to financially incentivize investment in our community, and that includes the research park and also includes other areas around campus. And the reality of that is because of how we are zoned, the city of West Lafayette will never have smokestacks. You're never going to see advanced manufacturing here. You might see some light manufacturing, some clean manufacturing, but you'll never see the smokestacks and the manufacturing that you see over in Lafayette, which is what helps with this amazing partnership between the two communities. But the fact of the matter is that we realize with our unique population, with the students who are coming out of our university knowing things that I can't even begin to imagine, the best thing that we can do, whether it be through Rolls-Royce, whether it be through something out at the research park, whether it be one of the new companies that's actually coming to our community, the best thing that we can do is before the ink on the degree even dries, is to get that student, that new graduate, into a role where he's taking that education and creating jobs or creating product or contributing to our local economy with that. The city and Purdue could not be more passionate about that. We share that goal as making sure that as we grow, we also do as much as we can to keep our student population here. You know, Indiana's always had the challenge of what they call the brain drain.
Sure.
And that might be partially because of where people come from. You know, when you're coming from all around the world, there's probably one or two spots that might be a little bit better than West Lafayette or Indiana in general, so they go back home. Sure. But what we're looking to do is trying to make sure that those folks, we have a competitive economy, and we can bring people in, and we can hold them with high-paying jobs.
Okay, all right. Well, Mayor John Dennis, I think that this has been very, very
informative.
Informative was the word I was looking for. Very informative.
Let me just take a chance. You know, I've been interviewed by a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I've had a lot of folks that probably, well, they make more money than I do that conduct interviews, and this has been a really great experience. You are good at what you do.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Oh,
I've got a cold.
There
so
we go.
Bump.
All right. That pretty much wraps it up for our Fast Track interview series. Thank you for watching. Mayor John Dennis, this has been a pleasure.
That's all we have for this edition of our special interview series. I'm Trevor Peters.
And I'm Christina Van Zels. Join us again next time for more exciting stories around Purdue's campus and another edition of Fast Track's interview series. Have a great weekend.